Alright, I added yeast nutrients yesterday. I added pectic enzyme yesterday. So now I am ready to pitch my yeast. One of the first things I did was I measured my specific gravity. I didn't get that on camera, but to measure specific gravity, what you need is a hydrometer. So this is a hydrometer. It just floats in the wine or in the must, and it gives you an idea of how much dissolved substances you have in there, specifically sugar, and then that will kind of determine how much alcohol you can produce. Asa's going crazy back there. So I've already measured that. I'm at about 1.09, which is where I should be. As far as my specific gravity goes, I'd like to give my must a little stirring. From now on, I'll be working from a bucket of sanitizer, and the sanitizer that I use is called Star San. You mix it up however it says on the label, and then you let your stuff sit in there for just a little bit. Seconds is fine, 30 seconds to a minute. You don't have to rinse it off, supposedly. I like to, though, because I don't like the idea of thinking that I'm introducing more sanitizer into my wine. So I rinse it off. And I like to give it a little stir, just to make sure everything's kicking around in there. Again, still no fermentation going on. That's a good thing. I don't want it to be fermenting yet until I add my yeasts, which I've kept in the refrigerator. So the yeast I've chosen to use, I'll show it to you here. So this particular strain is supposed to kind of keep some of the fruitiness of the muscadines or whatever fruit you use. It doesn't necessarily ferment to the highest alcohol content possible, but sometimes, for me anyway, sometimes the really high alcohol content in some of the wine takes away from some of the flavor of it. It's kind of what makes it a little harsh as well, so you have to age it a little longer. Some of these packs, and you can see on the back here, some of these packs suggest that you mix this with some warm water for a while before you use it. I've never done that, and most of the people that I know that make wine don't do that either. So really, all I do is, and I'll show you this once I do it, I just take my yeast and I just kind of sprinkle it over the top of the must. So now I know exactly what yeast I have in there that'll be working. I'll do that for the next bucket as well. You could probably buy one of these packs, and one pack would probably do both of these. But I'm a fan of more yeast the better. So I'll sprinkle that over there. And you don't stir it yet. You want those yeast to hydrate on their own in that bucket. I'll show you what we've got here. So just some yeast in the wine. And they'll hydrate on their own, and then they'll kind of start to fall through. And once they start to ferment, then I can start stirring it. But I don't want to do anything to it yet. I just want to let it sit there, let them hydrate, and then let them start doing their business. And then that's where we'll end today. We should come back tomorrow and start to see some fizzing or bubbling, which would be CO2. This would be the point if you were my student. I would ask you where that CO2 is coming from. And again, I like to make wine because of the science, not necessarily because I like to drink the wine. So we'll be fizzing hopefully tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. See what happens.